Hi, I just wanted to quickly introduce this important syllabus amendment. So the class currently requires us, and I'm showing you right here, a portion of the Math 64 course outline distance education addendum, and these are done every 5 years. The last one was done in spring 2012. So it currently requires that we either have all chapter tests proctored or at least one midterm, and the final exam must be proctored. But under this option, option B, we have to have a minimum average of 70% on the midterm, or if I have many midterms, and the final that are proctored, to be able to be capable of receiving at least a C. So even though your grade calculation may work out to be something like an 80%, if your minimum score of the proctored midterm and final was not an average of at least 70%, you wouldn't be able to receive a B letter grade, and that's what 80% would be. You would have to receive a D at the most, because you can't receive a passing score if your average of the midterm and the final wasn't at least 70%. It's actually very, very unlikely and very rare that it would occur. We've been using this system for a long time, and usually when I taught the summer classes I just had for Math 25 statistics, usually anyone that's going to receive a passing grade in the class is already receiving at least 70% on the average of the proctored midterm and final. But option B was that, and had I been given the class much earlier and been planning the class out and not just kind of picked it up from the previous teacher and wasn't just doing what he was basically doing, I probably would have, well, I always have been in my other online classes, used option B. But currently, we use option A, which is the requirement that we have every test proctored. And we know that that means that you can have them proctored at our regular locations, or you can have them proctored with a proctor, an approved proctor, that meet one of the conditions that they're a librarian that's either community college, university, state college, or a county librarian, or one of the instructors, a community college instructor, a college instructor, university instructor, state college. So what I've made as an amendment to the syllabus is that if a student has already taken all the chapter tests proctored, then they can stay under condition A, and then they can just have their test score average be based off of the average of those tests. And remember, there's a breakdown for the test score, for the homework score, and for the final exam score. Let me actually take us there. Here's the grading scale that we said on the syllabus. So the chapter tests all being proctored would just all be averaged, and then they'd be weighted at 60%. Or if a student has already had the first 4 tests with their approved proctor, then they may choose to now take option B. And if they choose that, let me scoot this over, then since we didn't have an actual midterm, the midterm average or the average of the first 4 tests would be the midterm score. So you can go ahead and read through this. I think I worded it carefully to make that clear. And then they would continue to take the remaining tests, the chapter test 5, 6, 7 test, and the average of all those would be weighted together to make the test average. But the requirement, since option B has a requirement that they have an average of 70% or above on the proctored midterm and final, that would be calculated by whatever you get on the final, which still needs to be proctored, and whatever you had on the average of the first 4 tests that you already had proctored. Now, I don't want to be unfair to students who did all 4 tests proctored, and then now that I'm going to make a midterm exam available, they feel like they maybe could have done better on a midterm. So the third bullet here says that if a student doesn't have all 4 initial tests proctored, then you can take a midterm that I'm creating right now, and you'll be able to use that as your midterm score. So, you know, the past is in the past. We don't have to go back and get test 1, 2, 3, 4 proctored. but they can use that midterm score when they take that with the average, with the final to create the average that they need to score 70% or above on. They'll still be taking these other tests, 5, 6, and 7, but I will then weight the midterm right here. I'll weight the midterm by 4 tests and then add these additional tests to get that testing score. So to make up that 60%. I hope that's clear, but read through this handout. I just wanted to add this short little video with the introduction to this amendment. This amendment is in the Dropbox. So if you go to, you won't see all these other pages because remember the Dropbox is the one that's on the link. I'll go ahead and pass that out again. But so if you go to the Dropbox, you'll have the amendment right here and you can open it from there. Alright, I hope that helps.